Patricia Lassiter here, and I'll be talking about happiness. So, what is happiness exactly? Happiness is different for everyone. What makes you happy may not necessarily make me happy. Happiness is defined as a state of well being and contentment. Happiness is not easily defined due to everyone having their own definitions of what makes them happy. There's a quote by Marcus Aurelius that I feel is significant. The quote is, "Very little is needed to make a happy life." I agree with the quote for the following reasons. One, the belief that happiness comes from within, and two, that money doesn't buy happiness. But first, let's talk about how happiness comes from within. I believe the following quote from Dalai Lama sums up how happiness comes from within. Happiness is not ready-made, it comes from your own actions. So it's up to you to make yourself happy. Don't depend on others to make you happy or to feel fulfilled in your life. I feel like this relates to a book called More Happy Than Not. There's a character in there called Aaron Soto, and he's struggling with his pursuit of happiness. He struggles with the death of his father and coming to terms with his sexuality. He believes that by erasing his memory, he can find happiness. But at the end of the story, Aaron discovers that self-acceptance is what will lead him to happiness that he has sought for so long. Now that we have talked about how happiness comes from within, let's discuss how money doesn't buy you happiness. In every life, we have some trouble, but don't worry, be happy. In the song Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin, McFerrin talks about the different struggles that people face, such as struggling to pay rent or not having enough money to keep up with the latest fashion trends. But he believes that being worried will not make things better, but that you should just focus on being happy with what you have. And I feel that is really relevant in today's society, with the likes of Facebook or Instagram. You see some people living a more glamorous life than you do, and you feel that is what you need in your life to make you happy, but that's not true. I feel that this is relevant to the movie The Great Gatsby because in the movie, the main character, Jay Gatsby, is a self-made millionaire. And he believes that once he became wealthy and lived this luxurious life, that he would be happy. And he thought that the girl that he really fell in love with would want to be with him because he's wealthy. But in the end, it turned out that's not true, that he realized that being wealthy came with its own issues and that money truly couldn't buy everything, especially love and happiness. So in conclusion, today I discussed how I agree with Marcus Aurelius' quote that very little is needed to make a happy life for the following two reasons: that happiness comes from within and that money doesn't buy happiness. The official definition of happiness is defined as a state of well-being and contentment, but I believe that happiness is how you define it in your life. Thank you.